But I was just like, I am not supposed to be here. And at one point, I think like Dustin knew because he turned me and was like, what's up? And I was like, hey. If you were ever wondering what's it like to be a Stranger Things extra, look no further. I was a Hawkins High School student in season 4. And this video is a little behind the scenes look on my experiences on set. If this fool can be an extra, so can you. So when I was looking to be an extra on Stranger Things, I was first finding out where they film all of these scenes. And most of the scenes are filmed in Atlanta, Georgia. With this season, some were filmed in other places. The casting agency that you go through is Casting Tailor Made. My hair was super long during that entire year of kind of submitting for these roles. So the role I got accepted for was a high school role. The first thing you have to do is you have to go in to get fitted for your costume. And this is done days before, this isn't done on the day of the actual shoot. So I went in a couple days before and I would walk into the trailer and they would have kind of like a row of clothes that I were to try on. I first tried on this blazer and it was a really wool blazer. It was pretty hot and I'm glad they didn't go with it at the end. And then the next thing they tried on was a trench coat. And they really liked that look, so they brought me like 3 other trench coats to try on. And so once my outfit was all made up, then I would go to get my hair done. And this is kind of a full trial. They cut my hair, they style it, they take a photo of it so they know on the actual shoot day what they want it all to look like. So then came the shoot day and my call time was 4 a.m. that I had to kind of be in the parking lot, and then you get shuttled over to the actual set. And as we're kind of coming over the hill, you see the Hawkins High School / Hawkins Middle School where they film all of those scenes. And this video that you're seeing is taken on a different day. On the actual day, you're not allowed to have phones on set. You're not really allowed to take any photos of anything because they don't want anybody to spoil anything. But we would kind of sneak photos in the dressing room and in the bathroom, but we would never post them on that day. We would kind of wait until the season comes out, and then you can kind of post what your outfit looked like so people can kind of spot you in the background. So after you kind of put your costume on and you get your hair and makeup done, it's just kind of a waiting game. We didn't get called on set until about 12 p.m. So from 4 a.m. to 12, you're just kind of sitting around, and it's kind of a wild experience as you like look around, you see all of these extras dressed in like full-blown 80s attire. So it really does feel like you're in the 80s when you're just like sitting in this holding tent with everybody. And as we were waiting, an assistant director came in and was kind of hand-picking people, and I was one of the people they picked. They brought us outside into a group of like 30 or 40 people, and then they gave us kind of a spiel of we were going to be the group that was going to be close to the actors. And as we were walking up, the prop department is sitting outside of the gym and they're kind of handing out backpacks, they're handing out flyers or posters to people to hold up, and that's where you get your props that go along with your outfit. I was given sunglasses. I have no idea why they gave me sunglasses. I was the only one out of everybody that had sunglasses on inside the pep rally, so you kind of like spot me very easily with the sunglasses. As you walk in, you kind of see the gym, and I'm thinking this was the same gym they used when they filmed kind of middle school scenes in there and like 11 in that pool in the first season. I see the Duffer Brothers kind of behind the monitor, and then we just kind of walk to our seats and they place me in the front row. Then they start doing rehearsals with everybody. So the entire bleachers are filled at this point, and the assistant director is kind of running us through the motions of how it will all play out and how the day is going to go. And we just start rehearsing. It's basically just a lot of clapping, a lot of fake clapping. And then they bring the actors in after rehearsal. And the actors that were sitting right behind me were Mike, Dustin, and Max. And then we start to shoot all of the wide shots. So we kind of get all of those out of the way first. And at this point, I think they have about like 3 cameras running as they're kind of panning off as he's giving like his emotional pep talk speech to all of Hawkins High.
It's been a tough year for Hawkins.
And so we ran through that scene, I would say maybe about 8 or 9 times to kind of get everybody's reactions. And then they kind of let everybody go for lunch. And so then we all went and we ate in our tent. And then once they called us all back, they're now doing the dialogue scenes that were between Dustin, Max, and Mike that were behind me. And so at this point, they're kind of moving the cameras in closer. They don't have all of the stands filled. They just have the section that they need to make it seem like the stands are all full. And during these scenes of the dialogue, the assistant director would come over to me and kind of tell me to crouch down and kind of lean down a little bit because my head was in the view of like Mike and Max and Dustin. So they're kind of telling me to spread my legs to lower myself down. At some points the camera would like almost even skim my head. They even pulled me out so the camera could fit in over my head to kind of film all of those. Also, kind of during these dialogue scenes, the actors would need to talk to the Duffer Brothers, and they would kind of step down and talk to them. And so I would be the one in the front row that would let them out. So I would stand up and let them walk down. And at one point I just kind of would stand there because I knew they would have to get back up to their seats. And as I was standing there, they kind of huddled around me. The Duffer Brothers, Mike, Max, and Dustin were all huddled around me. I was hearing them talk to the actors and giving them notes, but I was just like, I am not supposed to be here. And at one point I think like Dustin knew because he turned to me and was like, what's up? And I was like, hey, how's it going? It wasn't until the show came out and I was like watching it, which I just like died laughing. You can see me easily with the sunglasses. Then after the dialogue scene, we got pulled back out, and then we came back in only to shoot kind of Lucas running in with the basketball team. At this point, they're not filming us anymore. We were just kind of there for the environment, for Lucas to kind of react when he came in. They were shot in pitch black late at night. They made it look like morning, and it was kind of cool to see because you would walk into the gym and it would look like morning and feel like morning because the lights were just kind of blasting in, bouncing off the basketball floor. And we wrapped about 11 o'clock at night. And so we had all been there since 4 a.m. So it was about an 18-hour day. And one of the things people ask a lot is like, do you get paid to do this? And you do get paid. I think the rate that day was $80 per 8 hours. So we went a little overtime and you get the classic time and a half pay on top of that. Another question I get a lot is did you like get to actually meet and talk to the actors a lot? And besides talking to Dustin on that day, just saying, hey, what's up? Nothing more. You don't really get to like sit down, talk to the actors, ask them questions unless you're sitting right next to them on the bleachers or like there's a lot of downtime where they're talking to you. I was called to be an extra 2 other times. One of the times I was a high school student again, and that was that outside scene where Mike and Dustin are running away to go find another member for the Hellfire Club. You really don't see me, I'm like in the shadows. Even that quick scene of them running up the hill, we did at least 15 takes of that. At one point, Dustin is just like flipping off the Duffer Brothers because they just had to run up that hill so many times. One thing that happened that day was as we all get called to lunch, I get pulled aside and they said, would you be okay with doing a photo shoot? And they set me down at the picnic table, and then Mike comes walking and sits right next to me. And then they just start doing a photo shoot with us, like acting like we're studying. And I have no idea what they use that for. I haven't seen those photos anywhere. They might be out there somewhere. And then the other time I was called back to be in the Hawkins Lab scenes. I was dressed up exactly like one. I was an orderly. I was supposed to be when one goes through his rampage through Hawkins Lab. I was supposed to be one of the people laying down on the ground or just like sitting up with just blood on my head. They never ended up using me the days I was there, and I was there a total of 3 days. It was cool to see because during those times, Millie Bobby Brown was there, Matthew Modine, who plays Papa, was there, and all of the kids that were in the Hawkins Lab were there too. So when I would eat lunch, they would come up to me and be like, are you one? And I had no idea what they were talking about, but now looking back and comparing the photos, I did look a lot like one, and I was dressed exactly like him. I got to also visit some of the locations while I was down there, just on my own. If you have any more questions, drop them below, but that's how I got on Stranger Things 4.